Hey guys, and welcome to this week's Teen Hour. So this week we are going to be making t-shirt bags. So we're going to be upcycling some old t-shirts and making them into basically reusable bags. So as you can see, this is one that I have. I have had this shirt since I started college back in 2010. So it is ready to have a new life. It's obviously very well loved. So basically what you're gonna need is, all you're gonna need is the t-shirt that you are going to be using. Make sure it's cool with your parents or guardians that you do cut up a t-shirt. You're going to need some scissors and a marker, basically. And if you guys want to, you guys can get a ruler if you guys are wanting to make exact measurements. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it because that's just how I like to roll. So as you guys can see, I've marked up my t-shirt already. So you're going to want to cut off the sleeves. This shirt is so old that I've already actually cut off the sleeves, but I'm going to cut in a little bit deeper, so you want it to be about an inch in. Mine is a little bit less just because I've already cut off the sleeves, so it's a little bit imperfect. And then the neckline, you're going to want to cut off the neckline about 4 inches deep, and it might be a good idea to use like a bowl to make a nice straight line. Because I have writing kind of close to the top, I just drew on there because I wanted to make sure that the writing was still visible. And let's go ahead and get started. So grab your scissors, and if you guys have fabric scissors, that would be a great thing to use. If not, that's okay. Just be careful when you're making your cuts. So I'm gonna start by cutting along the sleeve area here. I'm gonna cut the other sleeve now. And if you guys do have, if like one of your parents does like quilting or something like that, or sewing, if they have what's called a rotary blade, that might be an even better thing to use to cut the sleeves, especially if you don't have fabric scissors, because sometimes it can make a little bit of a jagged edge, which isn't a huge deal, but if you want it to be perfect looking, then that might be a nice tool to use if you have it. If not, don't worry about it. All right, now we're going to cut the neckline. Okay, you guys, so now that I have the top of my bag made, we are going to go ahead and make the bottom part. So go ahead and take a flat surface of some kind. That can be a ruler or even a book or something like that, and just gauge about how deep you want your bag to be. So in this example, I've drawn a line here. So since I've drawn a line there, my bag is going to be like this once it's all done. So if you guys wanted it to be deeper, you can just make your line a little bit further down. I wanted a kind of shallow bag, so that's what I have here. Okay, and so now we are going to be making cuts at the bottom here, and we're going to be making a fringe. And so we're gonna make about a 1-inch cut, and we're gonna cut up to the line, okay? So this is going to be my first cut, and I'm also going to cut along the side here. Great. Okay, so now you can see I have 2 strands on either side, and we are going to continue to make these cuts all the way to the other side. So I'm actually going to start the other side here. I'm just going to cut along the edge to prep myself. Okay, you guys, so now we are done cutting. So if you guys wanted to leave the tassels on the outside of the bag, then you can leave your shirt as is. If you guys want the tassels to be on the inside of the bag so that the bottom is just flat and flush, then we're gonna take a second and we're gonna turn the shirt inside out. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and lay it down, and then I'm gonna line up the tassels. Great. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tie the first 3 tassels. So you can ignore the rest and just take 2 strands and tie them in a knot. Just a normal knot. I'm gonna do that with the first 3. So this is the part where it's like a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna just quickly explain what we need to do, and then I will have the video be fast forwarded. So if you look and see this bag there, if you just start by tying 3 knots and just tied knots all the way along the end, there are going to be holes in the bottom of your bag, and over time the holes will get bigger and bigger. So what we need to do is we need to seal the holes. So once you've tied your first 3 knots, I want you guys to grab the strands and kind of separate them out. So we're going to be working with the middle one here. So with your middle strand, go ahead and separate those two so it looks like there are 4 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 2, and then these are singles, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take the strand on the left of your middle one, and then you're going to take the farthest right strand on the side knot, and you're going to tie those together. Okay. And then you're going to take the remaining strand from the middle knot, so that's going to be on the right hand side, and then you're going to take the left hand strand from the furthest right one, and you're going to tie those together. And what this does is it seals up those holes, and then we're going to do that all the way to the end. So now I'm just going to take all of my remaining tassels and I'm going to tie them into knots, and then I'm going to start binding them together by tying them into knots with the ones next door, okay? So this is just a new tassel. So I have 3 more new tassels here. And so with my first one, I'm going to tie it to the ones I already have, because we don't want to just tie them in groups of 3, because then that's going to leave holes throughout. So here is the first tassel that I just did, and I am going to tie it with this strand here. Okay. So I am tying up the bottoms here, and let's just go ahead and make the rest of these tassels. Okay, so here are my remaining tassels, you guys, and let's go ahead and just finish up this bag. So can get a little bit confusing, so you'll have to like kind of maneuver the shirt around, make sure that you're grabbing the right ones. All right, so I got all my tassels, and so this is what it's going to look like if you guys want to leave the tassels on the outside, just kind of hanging down at the bottom like that. I'm gonna flip mine inside out, or right side in, I guess, since I'm flipping it back. Okay, and there we go. Now I have a Yuvo bag, a little tiny bag that I could use for like fruit or whatever, maybe lunch. Yeah, and then as you can see at the bottom, basically all of the holes that would exist are all knotted together. Nothing's gonna slip through. The holes are still gonna be there like a tiny, tiny bit, but again, there shouldn't be big enough for anything to slip through. All right, you guys, that was today's activity. I hope that you guys have fun. I hope that you guys, you know, don't have too many questions, and if you guys are having a hard time, I will go ahead and post a link in the description about where I found this tutorial. I will say that her explanation is a little bit confusing when it comes to like tying the knots, but if you read it a couple of times, you guys should get it. There's also instructions here at the library if you need them. So yeah, have fun. Good luck making this bag, and I will see you guys next week on Thursday.